My name is Darcy Ingram, and I am 32 years old. 3 days before my wedding, my dad called. It was a Tuesday. I was in my workshop trimming roses for the centerpieces, soil under my nails, playlist on low, and the caller ID said Dad, so I picked up with my elbow because my hands were wet. 6 words. That is all it took. I am not walking you down the aisle. I set the pruning shears on the counter, wiped my hands on my jeans, said nothing for maybe 5 seconds, which does not sound long until you are the one counting. Vanessa says it would upset her, he said. My sister. Vanessa. 3 years older, married, 2 kids, and apparently still the center of every decision my parents make, even mine. Your sister is going through a rough time, Darcy. Her marriage. You know. I did know. But this was my wedding, not hers. 10 minutes later, my mom called to finish the job. Go solo, stop making drama, lots of modern brides walk alone. She said it like she was reading a brochure. 48 hours later, 200 people would turn around when those barn doors opened, and the man holding my arm would not be my father. Welcome back to Calm Drama Stories. This is a place where we share real stories about family, boundaries, and the people who show up when it matters most. Drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. I grew up in Ridgewood, Connecticut. White clapboard houses, leaf blowers on Saturdays, the kind of town where everyone knows your mailbox but not your middle name. Vanessa was the bright one, straight A's, debate team captain. Piano recitals where my parents sat front row with the camera. My dad introduced her at neighborhood cookouts the same way every time. This is Vanessa. She is going to be a lawyer. He said it like it had already happened. I was the one who came home with dirt on my knees. I built a greenhouse in the backyard when I was 14, scrap wood from a neighbor's renovation, plastic sheeting from the hardware store, a hinge I pulled off an old cabinet. It stood 7 feet tall, and it was not pretty, but it grew tomatoes the size of my fist by August. That year, my school science fair fell on the same Saturday as Vanessa's regional spelling bee. I entered my greenhouse tomatoes, heirloom seeds, controlled soil pH, growth journal with daily photos. I won first place. Blue ribbon pinned to my poster board by the time my dad walked in. He walked in 40 minutes late. The judges were already stacking chairs. Sorry, kiddo, Vanessa's event ran long. He glanced at the ribbon, nodded, said good job, the way you say it to a stranger's kid at a checkout line. Then he checked his phone. That greenhouse stayed in the backyard for 9 years. I repaired the hinge twice, replaced the sheeting once. My mom called it an eyesore. My dad called it nothing. He never mentioned it again. But it kept growing tomatoes every summer, whether anyone noticed or not. My high school graduation was on a Thursday in June. That same week, Vanessa got her acceptance letter to Columbia's MBA program. My parents decided to combine the celebrations into one dinner at Ristorante Luca downtown. 3 speeches were given. All 3 were about Vanessa. My dad raised his glass. To our Columbia girl. My mom wiped her eyes and said she always knew. Vanessa thanked them for believing in her. I ate my pasta and clapped in the right places. No one mentioned my diploma. I had graduated with a 3.7 GPA and an acceptance to the University of Connecticut's horticulture program. I paid my own application fee from the landscaping jobs I had been running since sophomore year, mowing, weeding, planting beds for 6 neighbors at $40 each. When I told my mom about the horticulture degree, she set her coffee mug down and looked at me like I had said something in another language. That is not a real career, Darcy. 5 words. She said them once to my face and apparently many more times behind my back. Ruth Kellerman, our neighbor 3 doors down and my grandmother Eleanor's closest friend, told me years later that she overheard my mom on the phone with her sister saying the same thing. Darcy is studying gardening. I do not even know what to tell people. Vanessa's MBA tuition was paid in full by my parents, $22,000 a year. I know the number because Donna, my mom, mentioned it at Thanksgiving like it was a public service announcement. My tuition? I paid myself. Landscaping in the summers. Greenhouse work on campus during the school year. Student loans for the rest. Nobody announced my balance at the dinner table. Vanessa married Preston Hale 3 years after Columbia. Investment banking. Charcoal suit at the rehearsal dinner. Cufflinks that cost more than my truck payment. My parents glowed at the wedding like they had personally arranged the stock market. Then the grandchildren came. Lily first, now 5. Owen, 2 years later, now 3. My dad retired from his insurance firm the same year Owen was born, and those 2 kids became the center of his universe. He drove to Vanessa's house in Darien 3 times a week. He built Lily a swing set. He read Owen the same train book 47 times because Owen screamed if he stopped. Vanessa noticed. She noticed the way you notice a lever you can pull. The first time she used the kids was over Christmas seating. Vanessa wanted the head of the table. My dad gave it to her. The second time was about a family photo. Vanessa wanted it retaken without me in the background. My dad asked me to step aside. The third time, I heard it myself. Speakerphone. My dad did not realize I was in the kitchen. If you walk her, I will not bring the kids to Christmas. My dad paused. I could hear his breathing through the phone. Then Vanessa's voice, calm and practiced. I mean it, Dad. It is too much for me right now. You know what I am going through. My dad said, Okay, Nessa. Okay. My mom walked into the kitchen 30 seconds later, saw my face. She knew I had heard. Her response was not an apology. She is their mother, Richard. Do not push her. That was the hierarchy. Vanessa, then the grandchildren, then my parents' comfort, then somewhere below the property taxes. Me. I met Marcus Delaney on a Tuesday in April 3 years ago. I was planting a rain garden for the county drainage project along Route 12. He was the structural engineer building the bridge 60 yards upstream. We both showed up at 6:30 in the morning. We both drank black coffee from thermoses. He saw me hauling a bald root system out of my truck bed and walked over without being asked. Need a hand? I have got it. I know, but my coffee is done and I am bored. That was the first sentence Marcus ever said to me that was not about drainage grades. Our first date was a nursery tour and then tacos from a truck in the parking lot. He had dirt on his boots. I had dirt on mine. It was the most natural evening of my life. He introduced me to his dad 2 weeks later. Frank Delaney, 63. Retired carpenter. Hands like leather gloves someone left in the sun too long. He lived alone in the same house he had built with Marcus's mom, who died of pancreatic cancer 8 years earlier. There was a workshop in the back with sawdust on every surface and a radio tuned to a classic rock station that I am not sure he ever turned off. Frank called me kiddo by week 3. By month 2, he had built me a bookshelf for my workshop. White oak, sanded smooth, dovetail joints. He carved my initials on the inside of the left panel, D.I. Small enough you would miss it unless you knew where to look. I run my fingers over those letters every morning when I open the shop. You got dirt under your nails, he said the first time he visited my greenhouse. Good. Means you built something today. Nobody in my family had ever said that to me. Marcus proposed in the botanical garden I designed for the Ridgewood Public Library. It was an October evening, and the Japanese maples were turning that deep burgundy that makes people stop their cars. He got down on one knee next to the stone bench I had set into the path 2 summers earlier. I said yes before he finished the question. That night, I called my parents. My dad picked up on the 4th ring. I told him. There was silence for about 3 seconds. Then, congratulations. Not, I am happy for you. Not, tell me everything. Just the word you say when a coworker announces their promotion. My mom took the phone. Is he from a good family? She did not ask if I was happy. She did not ask about the ring, or the garden, or the evening. She asked about his family the way she might ask about his credit score. He is, I said. His dad is a carpenter. Silence again, the kind where someone is choosing not to say what they are thinking. I sent the wedding invitation by hand. I designed it myself. Botanical illustrations along the border, pressed fern on the inside flap. I drove it to their house and left it in the mailbox because I did not want to watch them open it. I also asked my dad to walk me down the aisle. He said yes. Quickly, almost reflexively, like someone agreeing to hold a door. Marcus said what he always says, when I give my parents a chance they have not earned. He put his hand on my knee and looked at me with those steady brown eyes. You know who they are, Darce. I know, but I want to give them one more chance. He nodded. He never tells me what to do with my family. He just makes sure I have somewhere soft to land afterward. The call came on a Tuesday evening, 3 days before the wedding. I was in the workshop, trimming the last roses for the centerpieces. 14 arrangements, each one hand-tied. The radio was playing something with a fiddle and I was humming along when the phone lit up on the workbench. Dad. I wiped my hands on my jeans and picked up. Darcy, I need to tell you something. His voice was the one he used when he was about to deliver bad news to a client. Steady but detached. Professional avoidance. I am not going to walk you down the aisle. The pruning shears were still in my other hand. I set them down slowly, the way you set something down when you are not sure you can hold it without breaking it. Vanessa says it would upset her. Dad. Vanessa is not getting married, I am. She says seeing me give you away would be too painful right now. Her marriage is going through a rough patch. You know that. So, my wedding day is about her feelings. Silence. Long. I could hear the television in his den. Some game show. I am sorry, Darcy. I did not yell. I did not cry. I asked him one question. The only one that mattered. Did Vanessa threaten you with the kids again? More silence. Then his voice dropped lower, as if someone might hear. She said if I walked you, she would not bring Lily and Owen to Christmas. There it was. The lever. The same lever she had been pulling for years, and he had been folding to every single time. His grandchildren traded for his daughter's wedding day, and he chose the trade without